I think what first drew me to the practice of law was, even from my childhood, just having a strong desire to advocate for what I thought was a fair outcome. And after starting at McGuire-Woods, I pretty quickly found myself in a position not only to help my corporate business clients, but also to help the pro bono community. And I found myself gravitating towards immigration-related pro bono work when I could, largely because the outcomes you could achieve if you were successful were quite literally life-altering. This case came in through a retired partner at McGuire-Woods, and from the very get-go, something that I noticed was a very strong sense of sincerity and consistency in everything our client was telling us. She had endured unspeakable trauma since she was a child, and it continued for about 15 years. And then, personally, one of the most challenging things about the case was I knew what the consequences were for my client and her family. I knew that it was not a matter of if, but when, in terms of the harm they would suffer if they went back to the native country. And that weighed on me very, very heavily as a person and also as an advocate. I had actually handled 2 other pretty substantial pro bono immigration matters in my career, but I did those solo. And so when this case came in, I knew I needed some help. And so I literally saw Maya and Ellen in the hallway during, I think, what was their first week on the job. And I told them, I said, guys, I know you're just starting here and you're getting your bearings, but I've got this case. Here's what it's about. Here's what the consequences are. Here's how deserving the client is. It's going to be challenging, but I will be in the trenches with you on this. We'll work together, and I guarantee you that if we are successful, and I know we can be, this will stick with you the rest of your careers.
It was the very first matter I was assigned to when I joined. I think it was the first or second day. It was overwhelming to join a case where I had had no litigation experience on this side of the bench. I had no real exposure to the immigration system. So it was a huge task, but our client's case and the facts were so compelling and drove us forward.
It was incredibly comforting to know that we could pick up the phone and tap into our resources at IUTA, not just for legal guidance and suggestions on the substantive merits of the case, but also a true trauma-informed perspective that was sensitive to the realities of what we were dealing with and the practicalities of these court proceedings we were in that were very foreign to us. We were able to get hands-on insight, not just about the best arguments to make, but how to present evidence, how to overcome certain facts that were difficult, how to deal with the DHS attorney on the other side, and how to make arguments that might appeal to the immigration judge under the circumstances. We have resources and can do legal research and present arguments, but to have a battle-tested partner in the pro bono community like IUTA was just irreplaceable. I think the most impactful moment of this case for me was when we all gathered together to hear the judge deliver his decision orally from the bench. I had never had that happen before in a case. And pretty soon after he started to read his opinion, it became clear that he believed our client. And when we found out that our client had won asylum, I have never had a more emotional moment in a court proceeding than that.
I cannot imagine having spent the fall of last year any other way. It took a lot of time, and it was such an important lesson in spending time to learn something new and work toward a goal for someone's life, to protect someone and to keep them safe. I can't imagine a better beginning to my career.
I think this case came at a time in my life and career that was pretty critical in terms of needing a reminder of how everyone in this profession needs to get back. And this case was that shot in the arm I needed, and it was such a powerful reminder and reinforcement of the value and the benefits of pro bono work. And I was able to also take this home with me. I've got 3 children. I was able to help them understand what it means to contribute towards having your client feel safe and secure and provide a better life for their children and their family. And for them to know that I helped someone get that peace of mind just made me feel very good on a human level and also as a dad.